We still are very pleased that we do something as silly as have the red curtain that opens before and after the movie and closes after the movie, because, you know, it was about being special.
That's a silver curtain. Was shown really for showing 3D movies. It broke one night after we closed, and I just left it.
The Coolidge was one of the theaters that people from downtown Boston would take limousines to see film.
This has been a problem from the beginning, because it's just basically my wife and I running it. We had a few people working with us, you know, during the show.
As a director of a theater, it's an amazing opportunity to be in the position where you bring people together.
People's ideas about the movies changed because the movie industry was changing. They became complexes, you know. So they could show 12 movies a night if they wanted, where we could only show either one or two. Childhood, seeing a movie, is nothing like the childhood they see today.
Nowadays we have so many options, from just sitting in a corner and watching your iPod and watching a movie.
When we reopen, I think we'll do very well once we get everybody in the knack of going to the theater again.
Yeah, this is the back of the auditorium. It's a huge auditorium. Originally it was built with 1,260 seats.
Originally the Coolidge Corner Theater was one big movie house, which probably had 1,200 seats in it. And over the years it's changed.
Don't look at the floor, because you'll find ceiling paint and everything else.
By people volunteering and taking an interest in their own community theater, saving it, and volunteering time, and then putting money and reinvesting in their community, that's what this story in this theater is all about.
It's a huge auditorium, and the seats are in good shape. I've done a lot of reupholstering the seat pads themselves.
What's beautiful about having something like this in the downtown of your community is people come into the community.
The local newspaper had a question on the comic page. Somebody wrote, was asking for the largest screen outside of Boston, and the answer came back, I think it was in Framingham, something like that. And he gave the dimensions of it. It was like 19 by, or 18 by 39, something like that. And I said, wow, that's the same size as mine. So nobody ever thought of, you know, this place as having anything.
People were very invested in the idea of preserving a theater in their community.
No, this won't.
We have very large rooms, and if you don't have people in them, and you're paying a huge heat bill for that, it's not going to work out monetarily. You know, you gotta have this thing work.
These seats are Hayward Wakefield, which is like the Cadillac of the seats back in those days.
We've put in bigger seats downstairs.
Most of the center section is, except for the last 6 seats here, roughly 6 rows, are in pretty good shape.
It's not a one-man show. It takes a lot of time and energy and dedication.
Huh, I don't know why that's not working now. Did last night.
The teenage audience is a real hard audience to attract to anything. It's hard to get them to do anything that's community focused or minded.
So when the kids broke in, they did everything. You can see how they broke the walls through on both sides.
It's the nature of teenagers to rebel against anything that anybody else does as a norm.
This is the dressing room area before, because the theater was built for live and movies. So if you put on live stage productions, you'd have the different dressing rooms.
These buildings were built and they meant something originally.
That'll go into the orchestra pit. Oh, Jesus.
In my own hometown as a child, grew up in a movie theater and loved every Saturday and Sunday, you know, the double features. And that building turned into a lumberyard.
Oh, geez, they stole the, all the equipment here, they stole it.
It's just like how when you probably think about your parents or oldness or whatever. It's like, you know, you think that things don't have value when they get old. And it's probably the wrong way to be thinking about investing in future.
So you can open it. And then you close it when you're not using it.
I have a couple of contacts with the federal government, hopefully, to see about getting, you know, federal money for reestablishing existing buildings that were registered as a historic site, federally and state. It must be 2 or 3 years ago, when supposedly I had gotten the federal money, but the woman that was getting it in Washington had a bad automobile accident, so she was out of whack for a while. We just never got the money. I think if I get the federal money, then the chances of opening are good again. And I'm not getting any younger, so I figure the most I'll be here would be 5 years, and then I'll just get rid of it, but it would be how I'm feeling at the time.